a good neighbor. Be better than the one I got right now. Because the one I have right now ain't cut his grass all
Oh,
season.
jeez.
So I got on 311. I didn't know it was a new 311.
Yeah, it's a new app.
Yeah. I like it. Pretty easy to use, I guess. I don't know. I started using it, but then it said, do you have any pictures or something? So I decided to wait until later and then send some pictures. Grass ain't been cut all season. Come on. And they're working on the house. Come and work on the house for a few days, and then they're gone for a couple months. Then they work on it for a few days, and then they're gone for a couple months. But this has been the longest. Cut your grass, keep your grass cut, please. It's a neighborhood issue. So last night, and I thought I was going to get away with saying there was no fires last night from fireworks. Most people in my neighborhood were really respectable as far as the time. Yours wasn't?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, in mine, my area, and I sat outside after everybody left the house. I got a chair out,
Yeah.
and watched the kids pop. I don't know. And when I went in, it was maybe 10, 11, and I didn't hear much more. You heard them up until what time?
Oh, I think fireworks where I live went off to about 12:31 in the morning, and it varied. You heard the little cracklers,
Right.
and then you would get the very stadium loud booms. Yeah, so no, I didn't get much sleep last night because by
Really?
the time every time I doze off, it was the big bang, and then I would wake up, and then I'd be like, okay, I can get back to sleep. And then next thing you know, bang.
Well, I think maybe because I was under, I had the air conditioner on.
You had a little white noise.
Yeah, so little white noise, except I don't have central air. So I decided to finally, and I don't know if last show I had put in the air conditioner yet. No, I think I was planning on sleeping in the car one night.
Yes.
So I finally went up in the attic, got an air conditioner, brought it down. Didn't bring down the one I really liked because it was a lot heavier. So this one has a rattle. So, but it only rattles. It's like it'd be like nice and smooth. And then when the compressor or whatever kicks in, now it's like. So I sleep. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, but I didn't hear him. So maybe that was why I didn't. But I thought as soon as I said, well, I didn't hear about, but then I'm reading, and it doesn't say it was from firecrackers necessarily. There was a fire last night. Cause of the blaze remains under investigation. So that's the only thing I'm usually afraid about. But other than that, seemed to be a good night so far. I've checked all the news media that I check, and I don't see anything so good. And people gonna pop firecrackers.
Absolutely.
So yesterday I cooked. Now you're a foodie, so maybe you can appreciate my faux pas.
Okay.
So I smoked some ribs. Came out wonderful. My mother brought potato salad. Craig brought dirty rice. What else did I cook? Corn, but I put like a lot of butter in the water.
You have to.
And then I season my water really good, so it's a lot of stuff swimming through the water.
So you don't sweat your corn on the grill?
Nah.
Oh,
So,
really?
sometime I will.
Okay.
But I like when you take the corn out of the water and all that seasoning, you can see it on there, the basil and all that. So did that, came out good. But I had another idea of something I wanted to do.
Oof. Okay.
Oh, and I made strawberries, like where you put sugar in. I put brown sugar.
Oh,
in.
okay.
Put brown sugar, half brown sugar, half
Wow.
white sugar, little cinnamon in that. Little pound cake. Put that. Yeah.
Wow. You just-
Okay, so here's the idea I had, because I've only made tuna salad once, and that was a few weeks ago, and it came out really good.
Okay.
Because I like mine when you put the spoon, you got to hear a.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't hear that,
yeah.
Just
You're not
give
doing
it
it
up.
right. You're
Just
not doing
give it
right.
up. I don't want no dry tuna
No.
salad that I got to go get a little bit of mayo and add it to it.
Or it's too loose and then
You don't want it soupy. It's
Yeah.
got to be right there, right? So I get a big wide bowl so that it make it easier to mix.
Okay.
I like to do slurry, I like to mix all my stuff, taste it,
Okay.
then add it. But I didn't.
Okay.
I did it the old school way. So Mark, now it's a big bowl. 3 cans of tuna and 2 pouches I used because I mixed up because I
Okay.
got the pouches that had the sweet and tangy.
Oh.
Oh yeah, come on, take it to another level.
Okay.
But what I thought, if I just put this in, it's not gonna incorporate all the way
Yeah.
around. So I come up with this idea.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Instead of using a fork and breaking up, you know how you break up your tuna?
Yeah.
How you break up your tuna? With a fork?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes the spoon will still leave it too clumpy. Yeah.
Too clumpy. Come
Right.
on. You're
Yep.
preaching. Too clumpy. So I decide food processor. This is the truth. You know I got all kinds of gadgets, number one. So I got a big food processor, but I got a little one. So I take out my little food processor because my thought is I'm going to incorporate all of these flavors together.
Wait. So let me just slow
Go
this
ahead.
story.
Go ahead.
So you did the tuna and the seasoning and your
No, just the tuna.
so you post your tuna in the food processor.
There you go. Bam.
Okay. All
yes. Vroom. You know, you only got to hit it once.
Yeah.
I hit it 3 times.
So you had tuna dust.
Mark.
Yeah.
You know how you be tasting, and this is what I'm saying while I'm doing it. I'm changing the game up here. Yeah.
Right.
Everybody gonna be like, who made the tuna salad? Mark, I took a fork. Tastes like dirt.
Oh God.
That's the consistency. It was like dirt. So now it's 2:45. I told everybody to come over at 3. It's 2:45. I can't recover.
You didn't make that emergency call. Somebody stop at Tops on your way.
No. You know what I did? Ran it downstairs in the basement, put it in the refrigerator for it to set. But I warned everybody, tuna gonna taste like dirt. The tuna, but they liked it.
Really?
They after it's set, it didn't taste like dirt anymore. Now, would I do it again? Yes. Would I puree it? Would I make it in the baby food again? No. I will hit it once, but I will do it again.
I agree.
Or a blender. I mean, not a blender.
A hand mixer.
Hand mixer.
Yeah. I can see that.
I won't. I
Yeah,
hit
not
that.
the 3 pulses. The three is entirely.
Dude, when
too
I
much.
put that. Oh, and I made chicken. I smoked chicken wings.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, we're gonna talk about real stuff in a minute, but Frank's has a hot sauce that's for chicken wings, but it's called something like sweet with it's sweet, but it's got a little heat to it.
Oh, okay.
I seasoned it up the night before real good.
Yeah.
Put some olive oil on it. Seasoned up. Then I bought from Amazon one of those racks. You put it in there.
Oh, yeah,
You
so you
just
can
flip
spin
it
them
over.
over.
So when I got in the house before I seasoned them, one dropped on the ground.
It went back on the fire or pure fire?
No, I ate it.
Oh, you dropped the cooked one. Oh, yeah.
I dropped the cooked one.
Oh, okay.
On the ground. I mean, in my house.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I picked it up.
Oh,
It had the 3-second rule.
yeah, that's fine.
I picked it up. I did get a little something that in my mouth when I was it.
Hey, we all got to die from something. I'm gonna eat it. It's my house.
Oh gosh, I had to tell you that. I said when I tasted that tuna salad and it tasted like dirt.
That's that nursing home food. I used to serve that when I worked at a nursing home.
I did too.
Yeah.
We both worked at nursing home, mine Niagara Lutheran home, but it came out. It came out good.
And Dawn said, "Step away from the gadgets, Bishop."
Who said that?
Dawn.
I got 2 boxes of Amazon stuff. I'm going to be unpacking next week.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not even going to go into all of it, but I got some good gadgets.
You should just set up. You should just.
I tried.
Set up the live now and just go live and just open it on live.
Oh, you think I should do it
Oh,
live?
absolutely.
Don't edit it.
No, just go live.
I got this one thing, and then we gonna talk about real stuff. President, the debate. Would you vote for Kamala Harris? What's happening right now in D.C.? Should we be afraid? Those who are Dems. We're gonna talk about that. But I bought this caddy to take outside, and I ain't put it together in time. I wanted to show off. I had company. You know what I don't like? You go to somebody, like you hosting, you got to keep going in and out, and people are like, where's for? We need this for that. I like to have everything ready.
Yes.
So I found on Amazon this caddy where you put like your ketchup, your mustard. It's got a towel rack, for paper towels,
towel?
and a rack for aluminum foil, because you know us is going to take something home. We taking something
Everybody.
home. So you put that there, but that might encourage people to take something home when you know. But I ain't have a lot of people, but I had enough. Just the family, come through. But I bought that. I got to put, and so now you just come out with one thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
One thing.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna be unboxing it this week. I got 2 boxes.
Yeah, I think we just live. If we had the multi-camera setup in your house,
don't start.
We would do it.
Don't start, because then I'd have my cooking show that I have wanted all of my life. I'm gonna do it though. I'm just chilling. It's too hot outside. Too hot in the house.
Too hot. Yeah.
For the first time ever, and we're talking about the president. For the first time ever, I was in there cooking with no lights on. Lights don't bother me, and the LEDs are not as bad. It was mental.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It was mental.
I ate yesterday. As soon as I finished eating, I turned the light off.
Did you? For real?
Because I was just like, it just seems too hot.
I was so hot cooking. I was like, why you invite people? You could have been upstairs with a lemonade and just taking it easy. The debate. Did you watch it?
I watched spurts of about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was 3 minutes, and then I was like, I can't do this. Then I've turned to something else, and I'm like, but I really should be in tune.
Yeah.
So I turned back, and I'm like, oh my God. So it was like every 3 minutes I would just go off and on.
So, I mean, he's admitted he had a bad night. Others, I mean, you can't deny it.
No, absolutely not.
Now, here's what I want to talk about, because new polls are coming out every single day.
Every day.
And a recent New York Times poll, Times Siena, which is very reliable, Trump widens lead after Biden's debate. Even CNN, I mean, you can't spin this one.
No, you really couldn't.
It was painful to say the least.
Yeah.
And right now, so this in the CNN poll 3 days ago. Oh, come on, True Bethel Wireless. Sometime works, sometime you don't. Come on, reload. All right. Most voters in the CNN poll, it says most voters think Democrats have a better chance of keeping White House if Biden isn't the nominee. Three quarters of U.S. voters say the Democratic Party would have a better shot at holding the presidency in 2024 with someone other than President Joe Biden at the top of the ticket, according to a new CNN poll conducted by SSRS. His approval rating also has hit a new low following a shaky performance in the first debate of this year's presidential campaign. In a matchup between the presumptive major party nominees, voters nationwide favor President Donald Trump over Biden by 6 points. That's 49% to 43%.
Outside the margin of error.
Identical to the results of CNN's national poll on the presidential race in April, and consistent with the lead Trump has held in CNN polling back to last fall. There are some signs in the poll that each candidate has consolidated support among their own partisans in recent months, a period that has been both Trump's conviction on felony charges in New York and the first general election debate of the contest, though independents appear increasingly reluctant to support either man. Now, on the Republican side, to me, you have if you can get convicted and be a felon, a convicted felon, and still hold the lead.
Yeah.
And now on the other side, you got your own party going like, what should we do? Mm-hmm. Now, the first runner-up, and if, according to what I've been researching, if Biden says, I'm stepping aside and I'm all in for Kamala Harris, the vice president, basically, she could inherit his war chest, his money, and the delegates. Now, if it's another person, according to experts this morning that I was watching, then it becomes more complicated because now you really do have to decide on the floor.
Yeah, you're going to it's literally going to be decided at convention on the floor.
Like it was when I was a delegate and Bernie Sanders was a candidate. I remember I'm sitting talking to this woman on the floor, just nice, and I didn't know she was with Sanders. It didn't matter to me. But all of a sudden, she just hollers out, Bernie, Bernie. And I'm like, oh, God, please, camera, don't
grab this picture.
Don't turn this way because I'm not with I ended up sitting in the pile of Bernie Sanders. But I was there for the floor vote, and it's a real thing because basically there's one person who represents your state, and they're going to say how many votes they're bringing and da-da-da-da-da-da. Do you think that the United States of America, the Dems, are poised and willing to elect a black woman to the presidency?
Not unless it's Michelle Obama.
You make me sick. When I say you make me sick,
that's the only way.
I think Michelle absolutely wins. Now, somebody inboxed me, and I wasn't being disrespectful or not. I was cooking. Would I help lead an effort to nominate Andrew Cuomo? They still in love with Uncle Andy.
Listen, I think Andy still could get votes. There is still a lot of respect for him. I don't know what his political capital is right now. But as far as fanfare, I think it's there. But I just don't know if he garners the support, even in this state, to go national.
I think at one time he was on that line.
Yes, absolutely. He was the people's governor during COVID. He was the governor of the United States. Like, he was everywhere. He was, and as you always say, once that big spotlight is on you, somebody's ready to chop that tree down.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what happened.
Tallest trees get cut down first. So they were showing clips of Kamala today and her taking a much more upfront role. Yes. She was with the president yesterday. So there's all that speculation because usually the 4th of July, it's just the president.
Right.
And he had her husband. They got, holding up their hands together. They're appearing at events. So the little behind the scenes stuff is he getting ready to make that move? I don't know. Could a Chuck Schumer pull out the presidency? He's very popular.
To me, and of course he's our senior senator in this state, but even putting a Chuck there, I don't know, perception-wise, I won't. Do I get a difference in, because most of D.C. is on that same vein. The Chuck Schumers, the President Biden, the Donald Trumps, Mitch McConnell. So we're all talking about 70-plus-year-old white men, and it's like, perceptionally, am I getting anything different? if I'm throwing a Chuck Schumer or even on the Republican side of Mitch McConnell into these mixes, am I getting anything different? I don't think the average American voter, because right now the battle isn't among, as you said, the partisan lines.
Right.
It's those independents that are wishy-washy. I don't know if the wishy-washy, if any of those
come over. But where are they at then?
Sitting at home.
Because end of the day, right now, how things are looking, Trump ain't out of this race.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know, you thought that the trial might affect voters because some of them said if he's convicted felon, we're not going to vote for him. There hasn't been a shift.
No.
It is exactly as it was before the debate and before the end of the trial. So they're not moving.
No.
And the people who are moving more, it seems like, are the Dems. And African Americans somewhat, because he doesn't have what he had before, even on the African American side. All right. Veronica Ivy says, well, Hillary didn't even get it. So a woman for president is a difficult candidacy, but we don't have a choice. Thinking of the long term, I'd rather have Kamala than Trump. Okay.
I mean, I think most of the country will be on we'll take anyone but Trump, but also take anyone but Biden. So I think it's anybody but who are the two candidates. That's just my opinion.
All right. Cam says at this point, now I wonder if he says at this point they don't have any choice. I think if Biden decides to stay in, they're going to let him stay in.
Absolutely.
They're not going to push Biden out of the door.
Absolutely not.
Don Trotter, I don't want anyone over 70 in office. So I don't care about their age as long as I care more about their stage than their age. Where you at? What can you accomplish? The Republicans ain't worried about Trump's age.
No, absolutely.
And he out there golfing and he act like he from the hood. How he be
so nonchalant. He don't care about anything.
He just like, yo, so what? And he's been quiet because he wants the news right now to be about the debate.
Let them run with it.
So he just kind of staying out of the limelight. But then when he does. Now, listen, this show, by the way, this is not an endorsement. These are all our individual opinions of a political situation. I don't want to go back into 4 years of visceral, just saying stuff that ain't true and dividing the country more than it is. And I just want a candidate that brings people together. And the one thing, I can say many things about President Biden that I like, the policies that he's gone through. Are people concerned about his health? I think yes. I think people are legitimately concerned. Can you make it? But then if you're a Dem and you're concerned about that and you throw him out, we don't know what we're getting.
Who you got?
At least we know his policies. At least we know her policies are pretty much in the line with his. I'm just going to be honest. I looked at some stuff today and I was like, I could probably rock with her. Like, I don't see her being dividing the country.
No, because I think even her negative stuff was a lot of the things when she was a prosecutor in California and some of her policies then, where I think the challenge she would have is I think she would have to spend more time telling America who she really is and not necessarily campaigning. And I think that's how late in the game we may be for her. Because, she's been vice president. We know her resume, but we don't know her. Trump was already a figurehead in business and media. So, he didn't need a long time. Biden was in D.C. for 40 plus years. So he already had a track record. Kamala on the national stage, we don't really have enough. And I say that, and then I have to go back to President Obama, who was a one-term senator.
There you go.
But he at least went through the campaign process, so you got to know him, you got to hear him. So I think jumping in for her now, I think they would have to try to do a lot more debates, try to get the.
She would have to be a strong debate. Now,
Right.
I do agree that we shouldn't be judging the president based on one appearance.
Absolutely.
And you know what I think the problem for Biden is? It's just his body language.
Yeah.
It's just that and it is age, but different people age differently, but he's
Right.
a brilliant man. He's
sure is.
brilliant. He knows this stuff. It's being able to deliver it. He also has a stuttering problem that he challenges
Yes.
with.
Yep.
So you got this stuttering problem going, or I'm not going to say problem. He stutters.
Right.
At the end of the day, I don't think we should judge him based on one debate.
Well, and I do think, let's be honest, the debate was running at from 9 till 10:30.
What about it, Mark?
But being a little sleepy. And I'm only going to compare it to how they tried to pair him with the rally the next afternoon, and now he's full of life. So I think we're not helping our own cause. Like, yeah, he should be better in the afternoon at a rally than facing tough questions at bedtime, even my bedtime.
Well, they took him to Camp David.
Yeah.
They took him to Camp David. He got some rest.
After going to Waffle House.
I'm going to read the comments when we come back from the commercial. Yeah, he went to Waffle House. That's my type of guy. That's my president.
12:30 at night,
Waffle House. I'm telling you. Now, he showed some hood right there, 12:30. And he was at the Waffle House.
And you don't know what crowd you're getting in there.
We don't know. Station, get ready. We get ready to come over to commercials. When we come back, I'm going to read through the comments. Keep on commenting on Facebook. I open up the phone lines about 20 minutes before we get off the air. Want to hear your opinion. Would you vote for the president of the United States if it was Kamala Harris? And do you think she has a chance of winning? And do you think Joe Biden should stay in the race? We'll be back at you. I'm starting it over to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
All right, so I'm sorry, I missed so many comments. Don said, oh, I read hers. Ross says the polls and editors, hold on, talking, but polls and editorials don't vote. People do. One sad thing is we live in a give us Barabbas culture. The surrounding citizens, Confederates, and hypocrites are allegiant to the criminal and his host of pirates. They are fighting the Civil War. We're pushing for Juneteenth. Don says, sadly, Democrats can't stick together. Katrina Martin Bordeaux says, I'm sick of us. We should know better. Jeanette Parker, good afternoon. Katrina, I believe in President Biden. Lakeisha, Benning says, if Biden is chosen president, Trump is going to do whatever he can to manipulate the government in order to make for his nephew to take over United Nations. Janice says, you got that right. Ross Jomo, Vice President Harris has been promoting social rights, black businesses. We have to watch black media. Veronica Ivy says Kamala won California multiple times, which is not easy. So she has what it takes, though it will be difficult. Everybody's saying that. I'm going to come back to Sister Doyle, Queen Doyle's comment. Katrina says Gavin Newsom is the only other person that could win on the Democratic line. Laquita wishes me death by saying DP for president. Those days are over. I was president for a few years. Ross Jomo, Moses couldn't talk either, but the mission is valid. Ross is preaching.
He preaching.
Moses had a speech impediment.
Sure did.
And again, I think it's all body language.
Yeah.
If Biden was more spry and all that, they wouldn't be saying any of this.
No.
Now, did he freeze up? We all witnessed it.
Yeah.
Is there a concern? We all witnessed it. And I think almost 100% of people would say there's a concern. But you got to weigh your options here.
Yeah, you sure do.
And to stay home and do nothing is not an option. Kamala has been playing her part, and she knows how to code switch. So we know what code switch means. She could do either side. Oh, you got a pat? Yeah. All right, let me see them because I can't see out of these glasses. Let's see if I can catch. Nope. Well, I could if it was thrown right. Y'all can't see all this on radio. Marcus throwing what is these glasses wipes at me. Thank you. So here's another article. I'm gonna try to read it in between. It says Democrats start moving to Harris as Biden digs in. And this is on CNN. Amid the ongoing fallout from Joe Biden's debate performance, talk in many top Democratic circles has already moved to who Kamala Harris' running mate would be. Whoa, 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 whoa. Biden always says, that's how certain a widening group of leading party officials, operatives, and donors are that the president's slow start to salvage his campaign just won't work. With several close allies skeptical that he is up to the re-election campaign he has pledged to stay in. Based on CNN's conversations with 24 Democratic politicians and operatives, Biden always says not to compare him to the almighty, but to the alternative. That's a good little statement. That's exactly what a growing number of Democrats are doing, looking at Harris. For her part, the vice president and her staff have deliberately ignored most of the calls and texts coming their way, remaining silent on insistently. What's wrong with me? On message about both her support for Biden and her pride sticking with him. They're looking at who might be the vice presidential candidate. Now, wouldn't it be jive? Okay, let me ask you this. What if they came to Kamala and said, we know you're the vice president. We want you to remain on the ticket as vice president, but we're gonna pick somebody else as president.
If I was her,
you think she would stay?
If I was her, I would get off the ticket. Unless the only way you could keep me on the ticket is if you convince me that staying on the ticket is for the betterment of the country. But then you're pulling on my patriotic duty. But if you don't see me moving to number one, then why did you ever choose me for number two besides to get the black woman vote?
Oh, that's a good point.
So that would be my fear if she got circumvented, and it would be I'm good enough to be two, but I'm not good enough to be one.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Do you think they put her in thinking
Absolutely.
she ain't gonna never be president? So
Absolutely.
Let's get these votes. We get the women vote. We get the
Absolutely. They never anticipated her ever taking the Oval. I don't believe so.
So I You brought up Barack Obama, and I've said this before in this show. And Damone was the first one to come to me about Barack Obama. Man, you got to check out this Barack Obama. And I was like, man, ain't nobody named Barack and Obama and black. This country not doing that. They're not doing that. I'm sticking over here.
Yep.
And then as time went on, but he had time.
Yes.
This is July, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, this thing is happening in a few months.
And there's only one more debate scheduled in September.
Listen, you got to redeem yourself. I'd be like, yo, let's hold one next week. Let's do something.
A morning town hall somewhere.
So he's being interviewed tonight, the president.
Oof.
Yeah, he's being interviewed, and everybody's talking about this interview, and if he makes it through this interview, how it may change some minds.
I doubt it.
I don't think, the difference between an interview and a debate is so much different. You got time to prepare for an interview. You're the president of the United States. I'm sure there's going to be some parameters, or there's already been some hint of what's going to be asked. He knows what's going to be asked. How do you feel about your age? And he's got all the lines to give it. But okay, let me see. Let me go back. Markeith says America is not ready for a woman president.
Ooh. America is ready for the right woman to be president. I'm gonna stick, whoever that is, whether it's Michelle, Kamala, a Republican woman, it's the right woman America is ready for.
Okay. Veronica Ivy. Kamala has been playing her part, and she knows how to. Oh, no, I already read that. Oh, she says that's disrespectful to ask her to be vice president, but she is the only one to inherit most of the campaign funds anyway. I think Vice President Harris, Katrina says, I like Vice President Harris, but I don't think that enough people will vote for a black woman. I want her, but we're talking about politics here. It's a good point.
So it's funny, as we always talk about our phones listening to our conversations. I got a notification from Apple News, and the headline read, "This wouldn't be the first time an incumbent stepped aside. Here's what happened the last time." So I was trying to get to the meat.
That's crazy. I swear these phones and everything else.
So on March 31st, 1968, Lyndon B. Johnson stunned the nation when he announced that he was pulling out of that year's presidential election. The Democratic National Convention that followed several months later devolved into chaos and violence and left the party's eventual nominee, Vice President Hubert Humphrey, hobbled at the start of the fall campaign season. He ultimately lost a painful close election to Richard Nixon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So that's
this is about to get dicey in here.
So we can keep asking for change, but the precedent says the vice president might be hamstrung if you make that switch at the convention.
All right, Biden is going to be on ABC with George Stephanopoulos.
No, that's a good guy.
Yeah, Stephanopoulos. And so he'll be on. I think the interview is tonight. I really plan on watching this interview. I hate when it comes up. Subscribe. So let me see. I know it's on tonight. You can find out. Oh, here it is. Friday, July 5th, 8 p.m. So it's earlier than 9.
Yeah, see, 8 p.m.
So
now, but the disrespect of doing it on a Friday night. So
you think that's disrespectful?
Yes, because it's the least watched primetime night.
Every political is going to watch it. Now the regular people on a nice right after the 4th.
Yeah, no, ain't nobody watching that.
It's still hungover. They ain't watching.
That's what I'm saying. So
or they're gonna get.
So the voters that you need to persuade are majority not going to watch. Everyone's going to watch it. Is the Republican pundits or the Democratic pundits that both have to sell it each way, but not the independent voters still trying to make a decision.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, most voters don't watch any of this anyway. They just catch a clip. They're not watching those.
Absolutely.
Now, they have millions upon millions watching that debate. Evador says, you also have Hakeem Jeffries. I was thinking about that. You think he has the appeal?
Not nationwide yet.
Okay. You also have Wes Moore, first black governor of Maryland, who just erased the drug convictions of 175,000 people, saying that it was historically wrong that they were convicted. Katrina says she stays the course, becomes president if Biden cannot fulfill his presidency. That's true.
Right.
She's going to become president if he
Yes.
can't. Marie Collins says back to Markeith, because Markeith says America is not ready. She says, wow, Markeith, are you kidding me? Lakeisha says, yes, I would vote for Kamala Harris to become president, but will the other countries that don't have women's rights and acknowledge her as our president, they're going to have to.
Yes, they will.
America is the strongest country in the world. They have to
Let's
acknowledge
get ready to
and treat her the same way they treat a male. Yeah, they may have a problem with it, but there's nothing they can do about it. And there's other countries that are led by women, and that they have to meet with.
I was getting ready to read this post from
Go
my
ahead.
sister. So my sister has been in Africa and Dubai the last week or so. So this was a quote from international news. They have a candidate whose health is declining as they show a clip of Biden repeatedly stumbling up a set of stairs, and another who is volatile, unpredictable, criminal. This is not the will of the American people. They are not the best candidates. This is what international news is saying.
International
National
news,
is saying about our news.
So bringing it up of whoever talked about the women and all of that. The fact is that there are some countries watching us. All of the countries, every country is watching us. Matter of fact, there's a new prime minister now in the UK. They got rid of the last one. Their elections are so weird. They could just like wake up and call an election.
Yeah. Well,
we won an election.
Well, Parliament is even worse.
Yeah, it's weird. Kamal says this election is beyond personalities. This election is about policies. Yeah, we want it to be.
Yes.
Those who are aware.
Right.
But I don't think that the vast majority of Americans see it as about policies.
No. Well, in the last debate showed us that. When Trump got asked a question about his policy, he deflected to a personal attack or some other family attack or rambled on about something else or went back to 3 questions before. So we never got Donald Trump's policies. And while we agree with you, Cabal, if you look at most partisan politics, you never really get to the policy. Republicans really don't run on policy. They run on fear-mongering. So while one side talks about reducing crime, the spin is, oh, well, they're cutting police money. So now it's a scare tactic. It's not a policy. It's a scare tactic. They want to cut defense spending. So now we're going to be unprotected. So it's not a policy. I'm just making you fear what the other side wants to do.
Yeah, and I think it is totally right now about the persons and not about the party's agenda.
Absolutely.
Because for many people, the party's agenda is fine. Cam says something interesting. I had to look it up because I didn't know what he was talking about. He says Republicans have put together a strong agenda. Project 25 is in full bloom. You ever heard of Project 25?
No, I haven't.
So I went on and looked. There's a website called Project 2025 Presidential Transition Project, building now for a conservative victory through policy, personnel, and training. It is not enough for conservatives to win elections. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left, we need both a governing agenda and the right people in place ready to carry this agenda out on day one of the next conservative administration. This is the goal of the 2025 Presidential Transition Project. The project will build on all, and it goes on. They're expecting we're going back to the White House.
Absolutely.
And so let's get our people trained. Let's get ready. I think it's going to be more disastrous than the first time because he doesn't have to ever worry about running again.
Absolutely not.
And that's just going to unleash the cannons.
Yeah, and the sad thing is he will probably get 1 or 2 more Supreme Court seats if he gets another 4 years. So, and again, and we talk about it all the time on the show, we can keep looking at the Oval and 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue all we want to. if you're not looking at your down ballot and who gets to control Supreme Court seats,
Absolutely.
then we are damning this country even farther. You started with a question earlier, and even after the debate, I thought about it. I am not, the believer in me won't let me get fearful, but I am scared for the country because of what we have before us. And I think that's kind of been my sense of since watching the debate.
Yeah, and it is about, I mean, Kamal talks about policy. That's where we should be concerned.
Absolutely.
Who's going to be in Congress? Who's going to be in the House? Who's going to be Supreme Court? All of these things affect our day to day. And 4 years may seem short, but look at what we're paying for now.
Yes.
With the decisions of the Supreme Court and how they don't lend themselves at all to people of color. I'm in this skin. The one thing I can't get rid of, can't get rid of the skin.
No.
I can get rid of my hair. I can change my eye color, fake. I can't get out of this African-American skin, this melanated skin. I have to be concerned. My children have to be here, my grandchildren. And when you look down the road and the education opportunities, the work opportunities that were laid out there, because America ain't always been that friendly, still ain't that friendly, let's be honest.
Yep.
And so now that we have those things, Supreme Court comes along and like, nope. Oh, and by the way, go get your bump stocks and turn your regular guns into machine guns,
and you can have a president that commits felonies and he has immunity. So
you got presidential immunity and tells them to go up and tear up the Capitol.
Yep.
At the end of the day, again, let me give a disclaimer. This is not an endorsement for any candidate. The opinions you hear are solely those that are speaking them. They are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors nor the station as a whole. Because wow. Yeah. It's just so much news coming up.
I'm gonna see if I can get back to it quickly. So Van Jones, he summed up the debate as quick as possible. Hold on.
But he told the truth.
Hold on.
Biden stuttered, but he told the truth. He looked terrible, but his policies were good. Trump spoke plainly, but he lied the whole time. And he looked good, but his policies were terrible. I mean, he's going to do nothing on climate change. He was hugging the cactus on abortion. I mean, his policies are terrible. So you have somebody who probably shouldn't be president, and you have somebody who cannot be president in terms of what Donald Trump represents.
So I thought that summed it up.
It is.
That summed it up perfectly.
I'm trying to get back to Queen Doyle's before I leave. Okay. She said, would like to invite people to enter my new essay contest, a presidential essay contest to write their opinion on whether or not Joe Biden should stay in the race, or who would you like to run. First prize is $175. Excuse me. Second place is $100. For rules, send me an email to, get ready, you can always go back and replay it, eWriter, WRITER 52 at roadrunner.com. I ain't heard Roadrunner in a long time, but I still got AOL, so
Yeah.
Let me give it to you again, eWriter 52 at roadrunner.com. The deadline to enter is July 26th. Mother Eva Doyle, founder, on history. That's interesting. I'd like to see some of those, Mother Doyle, after you've picked the winner, and maybe share some of those, or maybe even let the winner come on the show by phone even and talk about their article. Wait a minute. Trump advisors, this is out of New York Times, call for U.S. nuclear weapons testing if he is elected. And he's already said forget Ukraine.
It's not funny. But
start messing around with nukes.
Again, I don't think we realize, if we know he is hostile, volatile, and borderline crazy, he has the key to the nuclear football.
Yes.
So just on a bad day, he can be like, let's increase Lake Erie. And you just at the whim. Look. Being from Delaware, they always used to tell us we were probably in the worst place because of our proximity to Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore, D.C. One of these things to the right area, even if it's not a direct hit anywhere, could take out the whole East Coast and then put us in living like we're in a third world country like that.
Absolutely.
And I think we lose sight of some of those things, getting caught up in the personality.
Absolutely. When we talk about the progress on climate change, all that would stop because he doesn't believe that there's any climate change. He believes just leave everything like it is. Well, we know that there is climate change, and it's those things. So watch the thing tonight. 9 questions. This is out of political. That ABC should ask the president tonight, and I promise you, half of them will get asked because it's the same questions everybody wants to hear. Here's one question: have you been tested for any kind of neurological condition?
Well, I just watched CNN. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, I think I got his name right. He just called for the president probably should get a cognitive test.
He said he went to see his doctor. So now, if you're running his campaign, you say yes to that, and then the doctor says,
absolutely not.
Exactly. Have you received any diagnosis at all, given the extraordinary circumstances of your being by far the oldest president in American history? Will you fully release all medical records, including those that go well beyond what you have released to date? Another question, Mr. President, in these situations, when you appear lost for words or struggling to find your place, what is your experience of those moments?
What?
Whoa. Ice cream.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Going to sleep. I
freeze. I'm 59. I have moments where I'm like, what was I talking about?
Yeah.
Do you find your mind has gone blank? I doubt if they're going to ask him that. Were you aware of the ongoing efforts by your staff to insulate you from the detailed interviews, sharply reducing your schedule? Do you now think that may have given the public a false view, blah, blah, blah? And finally, there's others, but you have said you, quote, weren't very smart for, quote, traveling around the world a couple times in advance of the debate. I think that he wasn't very smart to do that either.
I agree.
Jet lag is a main thing on a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
So now you going around the world, you're in different time zones. You just need to sit down. Mm-hmm. You should have been at Camp David for like a week, bro.
Yes.
And just sit down. So he admitted that.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting tonight. Well, it is July 5th, and I think that's it for us.
Yeah,
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. In your time of need, 3 locations, 347 Peckham, 2528 Bailey, 1275 Sycamore, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. And Hobson's, the doctor of dry cleaning, 874 East Delavan. Get your clothes over there. I ironed this shirt today. Epic fail. Should have been in the cleaners so that it had those crisp lines, but I ain't going nowhere. So it's Friday. Mm-hmm. It's Friday, and after the 4th, let me tell you where I'm going. I'm going home to eat my dirt. My dirt.
Tuna dust salad.
Tuna dust, and I think I got a few more chicken wings and a few bones. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, at least they left you with more food than we did after that. The Brian K. Lewis ribs.
Oh yeah. Because y'all ripped me off. Y'all should have got arrested for that. I had 2 slabs. Y'all gonna leave me a third.
Cause you always getting this. Oh, y'all take all this food. You know I ain't gonna eat all of it. Blah blah blah. So we helped you out.
Now his ribs are better than mine. I don't know what they put on them, but I'm gonna find out.
Yeah,
because I want to do sweet ribs, and then I want to do how he does them. I want to say they're like a Memphis. I don't know. Is it like a Memphis? It wasn't a sweet rib.
It's either Memphis or Kansas City. So it's,
maybe Kansas City.
Yeah, it's
more
either
Kansas
one of them.
City.
Yeah.
All right. Until next week, we throw it back over to the station. Power to the people.